It is 7 p.m. You have survived the day. Meetings, messages, emails, tiny emergencies that somehow became your problem. You are finally on the couch, and you have one beautifully simple mission: eat something and watch something. So you open Netflix, and suddenly there are 400 shows, a thriller with 8 seasons, a documentary that looks important enough to make you feel guilty for not watching it. 3 films you have already seen but cannot remember whether you liked. You spend 20 minutes scrolling while the little preview trailers attack you from every direction. Fine. Food first. You open a delivery app: pizza, Thai, burgers, healthy bowls. A place with 4.8 stars but only 12 reviews. A place with 4.2 stars, but the fries look suspiciously good. Then there are menus, deals, add-ons, sauces, side dishes, and a cookie that somehow feels like a major life decision. And before you know it, you have made no decision at all. You eat dry toast. You watch the Netflix screensaver. And somehow, after doing absolutely nothing, you feel stressed. If this sounds familiar, congratulations. Your human operating system has encountered a very normal bug: decision paralysis. It is not laziness. It is not you being dramatic. Your brain has simply been handed more options than it knows what to do with. And weirdly, having too many choices can make choosing harder, not easier. This problem has a name: the paradox of choice. It sounds backwards because more choice should mean more freedom, right? But a famous experiment made the opposite point. Researchers set up jam tasting displays in a grocery store. On some days, shoppers saw a huge display with 24 different jams. On other days, they saw a smaller display with just 6. The giant display got more people to stop and look, which makes sense. 24 jams is basically a tiny fruit museum. But when it came to actually buying one, the smaller display won by a mile. Roughly 30% of people who saw 6 options bought a jar. With 24 options, it was around 3%. Think about that for a second. The big display was more interesting, the small display was more useful. Because once every option looks possible, your brain starts doing unpaid comparison work. What if this one is too sweet? What if that one is better? What if I choose wrong? What if there is a perfect jam hiding behind the raspberry champagne chia one? At some point, choosing stops feeling like freedom. It starts feeling like a test you might fail. And that is the trap. More choices do not automatically give us more freedom. Often they give us more anxiety, more second guessing, and one very tired brain that would rather buy nothing. So why does this hit especially hard at night? Because the Netflix and toast disaster did not begin at 7 p.m. It began the second you woke up. Every day, you make a ridiculous number of tiny decisions. What should I wear? Should I answer this email now or later? Coffee or tea? Should that message have a smiley face? Is one exclamation mark friendly, or is it suddenly too much? None of these choices feels huge on its own, but together they add up. This is called decision fatigue. Think of your decision-making capacity like your phone battery. It is not a perfect scientific battery meter, but it is a useful way to picture what is happening. Every choice, every interruption, every moment of self-control takes a little bit of mental effort. By the end of the day, your battery is not necessarily dead, but it is low enough that picking a show can feel like being asked to solve a hostage negotiation. That is why you can make serious decisions at work, then stare at 2 pasta sauces in the supermarket as if your entire future depends on it. Your brain is not broken. It is tired. And tired brains love the easiest available option. Delay the choice, avoid the choice, or eat dry toast. The good news is that you do not need to become a perfectly decisive superhero. You just need a couple of ways to reduce the pressure when your battery is low. For those low battery moments, here is a trick that sounds silly until you try it. Flip a coin. Let us say you cannot decide between pizza and sushi. Assign pizza to heads, sushi to tails, then flip the coin. But here is the important part. Do not focus on the result. Instead, watch what happens in the second while the coin is in the air. What do you secretly hope it lands on? Maybe the coin is spinning and your brain quietly goes, "Please be pizza, please be pizza, please be pizza." Great, you wanted pizza. The coin did not make the decision for you. It made your actual preference impossible to ignore. This works because we often already have a small preference, but we bury it under 10 layers of logic. Price, reviews, nutrition, what we chose last time, what a hypothetical future version of us might prefer. The coin interrupts that spiral. It gives your gut a tiny moment to speak before your inner committee starts another meeting. There is one rule. Use it for decisions where both options are genuinely okay. Dinner, a movie, which workout to do, whether to start with task A or task B. Do not use it for moving country, quitting your job, or deciding which organ to donate. That would be giving a coin far too much authority. If the result makes you feel relief, you have your answer. If it makes you want to reflip, you also have your answer. Your reaction is the information. The coin trick helps when you are already stuck, but you can also protect your battery before the day begins. The simplest way is to automate the small stuff. Steve Jobs became famous for wearing a nearly identical black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers. The point was not that everyone should dress like a minimalist tech wizard. The point was that removing one small daily decision leaves more energy for decisions that actually matter to you. You can do the same thing without buying 10 black turtlenecks. Have 2 or 3 default breakfasts. Keep a short list of reliable dinners. Pick your clothes the night before. Create a default morning routine. Put your most common grocery items in one saved list. Have a go-to answer for emails that do not need a novel. Defaults are not boring. They are a gift to your future tired self. You are not eliminating freedom. You are saving it for the decisions that are actually worth your attention. So next time you're on the couch, staring at a menu, scrolling through shows, and slowly turning into a confused piece of furniture, remember this. Too many choices can freeze your brain. That is normal. Automate the small stuff so your mental energy stays available for the things you care about. And when you are stuck between 2 perfectly fine options, flip a coin, then listen to what you hope happens while it is in the air. Your gut is often less confused than your browser tabs. Now tell me in the comments, what decision drains you the most? What to eat? What to watch? What to wear? Or the classic, which of the 15 almost identical shampoos to buy? Thanks for watching. Make the small choices simple and save your brain for the good stuff.